This is one of the stories that I wrote. It's called The Adventures of a Pup Named Jojo, and it's basically the first chapter called Being Chosen. Once there was a small puppy. He was a very tiny being, a chihuahua. He was white and shiny with black dots on his side, and a tail and two black dots on either side of his head, covering his ears and eyes, lending a white strip down the small of his eyes. When he was still a baby puppy with his mum and brothers and sisters, he heard stories from his mother about olden days chihuahuas, brave hunters and fighters protecting the Mexican villages. No, Jojo was in Australia, and he was not an olden days chihuahua, but he wanted to be a brave and strong dog. One at a time, him and his brothers and sisters were picked to go to new homes. People came and left with the puppy, but no one even picked the small, skinny puppy with a smaller than average mouth and a heart that beat too fast and an uneven breathing pattern. One day, a woman came and picked Jojo up and cuddled him. The small puppy felt much warmth and love from the woman, who had come to take Jojo to his new home and family. Sad to leave his mummy, but way too happy to have a new home. Once getting to his new home, the lovely smelling woman put Jojo in a small pen, not much bigger than the pen he had before, but all on his own without his brothers and sisters. Some water for himself, some food, and a bed in a little enclosed house. Not long after sniffing about in his pen, he hears a huge dog walk by his pen. Jojo could have walked between her and under her. She wouldn't have even noticed. The big old black and tan dog walks over, sniffing him through the cage, grunting and snorting, grunting her indifference to the newcomer. She wanders off. Next to the little pup she sees from inside his pen walk past, trying not to notice him at all. A small shaggy dog and a larger little dog. Jojo could hear them talking, but could not have made it out. They were wondering where you're going to sleep. Hope you can start on their bed. Could not make it out. Going to sleep, hoping you're not in their bed. A smaller dog, a girl with long silky hair, with dark patches cut short, except for her tail and ears. I'm Kaylee, sniffing little Jojo through the bars. Jojo's surprised she was talking to him a bit. I'm Jojo, a chihuahua, a brave hunting dog. Kaylee sits on her haunches, laughing slightly. Yep, and that's Scruffy over there, pointing to the white, shaggy dog, the little terrier. He thinks he's a hunter too, but he never catches anything. He never catches anything, she continues. And the other one is Oscar, the big red one. Or she don't play much, the big one is Bella, the real big one. She's the boss of the dogs anyway. And my mum, Bunty, the little one, the other Shih Tzu, she looks around for another dog, but she's probably hiding. Wow, thinks Jojo, so many dogs in his new family. At least he has made a friend. He thinks as Kaylee tells him she will check up on him as she runs off to play with Scruffy. The rest of the day went by, the other dogs walking by now and then. Jojo did see Kaylee's mum Bunty once before dinner. Dinner is a huge event. Every night all the dogs get excited, jumping about, yapping, and such. It got Jojo excited too, especially when a plate with biscuits and chicken was given to him. The tiny chihuahua wolfed down the food and promptly fell asleep, not long after having an exciting and tiring day, barely waking up when the woman came and picked him up, taking the little pup to bed with him. Kaylee and the other dogs sleeping around on the bed. The morning was hectic, and the alpha, or the father of the thing, the big human, wakes up early to go and organize himself. and have breakfast and drive off for his job. So everyone wakes up in the house. The family are up and out into the yard after a quick breakfast. All the dogs plus the new little Jojo was taken out the door. After all the bigger ones trampled by, the big black dog Bella, then Oscar and Scruff, and a red and white Blur, and lastly Bunty and Kaylee, mum and daughter Shih Tzus, daintily down the steps. Then Jojo carried by the alpha woman down the steps and out into the grass. Looking about, Jojo could see the others going about their business. He runs over to the grass and smells it and feels it, new and wonderful. Running fast, Jojo didn't see the white, shaggy dog Scruffy before smashing into him. "Hey, watch it here, Scruffy," snapped back at the little dog, and half his size plows into him. The little dog that over half his size plowed into him. "I'm sorry, sir, Scruffy," Jojo apologized. You better be," said Scruffy. "The big girl here don't like newbies," points to the big blue, points to the black and tan dog, the big Rottweiler, Bella. "The big girl here don't like newbies, especially little rats," Scruffy growls. Gruff at the Chihuahua. Jojo, who looks at him, "Excuse me, Scruff, but what's a rat?" Jojo asks, confused. Scruff, growling deeply, snaps, You little brat," scaring Jojo to run off to the other side of the pen. The red dog, Oscar, old and wise, looks down at Scruff. "That was a little bit mean, wasn't it?" she inquires. "Maybe, but funny," replies Scruff. Jojo, running away, ends up far from the other dogs, on the other side of the pen, closest to the garden. As the little dog sniffs around, "I'm not a rat," he thinks. "I'm a Chihuahua. My old mum said so. I'm definitely not a rat," he thinks. Now happy he has figured that out. "I just wanted to be friends," he starts thinking again, sniffing, not paying attention, not realizing he had walked through the fence into a garden. A butterfly flutters by slowly in the cool morning air. "Be my friend," Jojo yaps loudly at the butterfly as it flutters away from him and out of the garden and away from the dog pen. Not knowing, Jojo chased after it, going further into the forest beyond the fence line, and he was lost. He turned to see home, and then suddenly, as the butterfly disappeared, the little dog slips and tumbles down a pile of rocks, falling off the edge into a small pile, leaves knocking the wind out of him. The tiny dog. And that's the end of the chapter that I've written. It's meant to be about, he's meant to go off and have adventures and meet. It's like a small dog adventure, like a young teenager story, like someone like 8, 9-year-old reading. I do have other ideas in here. Like I have a whole story system of a sci-fi adventure that I'm writing. It's got like the ship, Belosophy, the ship is a huge colony ship about the size of a small city, can house a maximum of 10,000 Mirians, which is the race that, but it currently has 400,000, has 4,000, most of who are colonists. To create colonies at planets they come across, the ship is long and thin with a conical front and a cylindrical center with the engine and thrust as part of the spire. And then there's an AI that runs the computer that's also called Belosophy, and it's a biological AI. It uses nanite technology to create cell-like bonds, so it's nanites that create the illusion of organs and cellular structures and stuff like that. So the AI basically has a biological body, or has a nanite body that mimics a biological system. So it can get pregnant, it can cry and love and that, but it's kind of like a recording or an AI copying biological aspects of human. I think. Took me a long time to figure this out. But what do you think of the Jojo story? Do you think I should continue trying to write it? I did the first chapter quite a couple of years ago. But thanks for your input. If you watch it, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm always putting stuff on YouTube. I did have a 3-week hiatus while I was in hospital, but you know, that happens. Sorry about the nose thing. My only one follower said that I tend to put the camera so you can like look up my nose. I tried to stay down where I was reading so you didn't have to look up my nose. But I haven't got such a great setting here and that. But one day I'll get better and better, and we'll see how we go. Thanks for listening.